Hello and welcome back to City Skylines Natural Disasters. Ladies and gentlemen, today is going to be part 2 of the first scenario, which for the sake of being an intro, I'm just going to call Salzbrook. Basically, we need to get 500,000 people moving on public transport in total. Not all at once, because that would be absolute insanity. But we need to do it before we've spent, wow, my voice went high there. Before we've spent 350 weeks in game, we need to make sure everybody lives, and we need to make sure we don't go broke. We have currently transferred 10,000 people. There have been 10,000 successful journeys, and we are currently moving approximately 330 people per week via bus. Not really enough, is it? Not really enough. Fortunately, we do have a decent bit of money sitting aside at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I am going to grab an avenue. And for one, I'm going to get rid of that little curve there because I don't really think we need it. I'm going to go ahead and continue that over like this. And I'm going to basically turn that little stretch into an avenue. No, turn it into an avenue. There we go. And I want to just bring a stretch of road over this way. So I'm going to go like this the whole way across if I can. And I want to make basically just a little neighborhood over this way. So this whole road needs to come over to this relatively flat area, which is going to be kind of expensive. But if we go to like there, we can start making some little squares to put some houses into. And we can do that kind of thing through the middle. We can go up like this, and we can go across like that, and basically just get ourselves a new neighborhood, which is going to be super useful for going ahead and getting a lot of people moving, especially since it is way out there. So that's going to help quite a bit. Let's go out like this and down that way a little bit. And we'll bring a road. Oh, I did that wrong, apparently. Oh, no, I didn't. The zoning's only 3 on that side. That's fine. There we go. So that looks fine to me. That's going to be super useful, I hope. We could maybe upgrade that little road, but I don't think we're going to need to. That should be fine. So let's look at zoning. Let's see what exactly we can do. We have fairly even zoning across the board. So what I'll do is go ahead and do industry in all of those spots. Commercial along those spots and in there. And then I think just a bunch of housing in all of that. So that we can get a bunch of people living out here. And I think I will actually have a fair bit of housing along this little road here. Since I might as well. You know, I might as well. We'll go like that. That'll be about as far as the housing goes. And that should be fine. We can expand off this area quite nicely. We have some space in here if we need it. But of course we are going to obviously need to get some pipes out here. So if we run this the whole way across to there and over to there, we can run some pipes down some of these streets. We don't have to go down every single one of them since the layout is fairly even. Go across like that and go across like that. And that's the whole area covered. We'll just connect these through so it looks nice and even like so. And we're good. So that area, I think the only thing it's going to need now is some electricity. So where exactly is the zoning? The zoning comes up to here. So just to the left of that tree. So from there, we're going to run this the whole way across to about there. Then we'll use my usual method to have this follow the curvature of the road quite nicely. So just along like that. Then connect it all together. And that's a lot of pylons, admittedly. It might look a little silly, but it follows the curvature, and that's kind of all I'm looking for. So there you go. That's hopefully all gonna fill out and connect together really nicely. We are probably gonna want to put some... In fact, we are definitely gonna want to get a little firehouse just out this way in case a meteor strikes. So we do have coverage here. I am actually really worried that a meteor might strike out this way. It's definitely a possibility. It is definitely a possibility. There have been 2 of them so far. One right there, and I wasn't actually that close to it when it hit originally, and one way up there. Hopefully we're not going to have to worry about those too much. What we do have to worry about, apparently, is electricity, because we are not generating enough of it. So let's get ourselves, let's see, 120 megawatts versus 40. So scrap both of those and get one of those. And that should solve all of our problems. There we go. So this area is filled out real nicely. Let's go ahead and expand my bus lines just a bit. So this one's actually going to come over this way first and stop there. And let's see. This one is going to come over this way as well and stop there. And then we need to go like that and go like that. Then we need to bring it this way and that way. Then this one goes up to there. Maybe not there, maybe over that way a little bit. So just there and there. Then add a stop just in there and there. And I think we'll just get one more in those 2 spots and that should be fine. So that's going to give reasonable bus coverage to that area. Not necessarily perfect, but reasonable is what we'll go for. And if I have a little look here, we should hopefully see the number of buses on that line go up a little bit. 29 and 30 buses per line, so that's going to be completely fine. Decent number of people using it. That number is going to go up as that area goes ahead and expands. And they have water problems. Yeah, the whole place is having water problems. Let's go ahead and get ourselves another pump then. So just throw it there, and that should solve most of the water problems. Not bad. As for traffic here, it seems to be flowing relatively well. We have our 2 turning lanes, one going right, one going left. Obviously, traffic in this spot needs to merge, but this seems to be flowing, which is beautiful, beautiful stuff. And traffic's flowing along there real nice as well. There are a few people waiting for the buses, which is excellent. 395 people per week currently using it. The goal is 13,400 at the moment, though we are on 54 of 350 weeks. So, I'm sincerely hoping I can make this work. Oh, I am sincerely hoping. Interestingly, the industrial demand is currently up there a little bit, so let's maybe go and expand that area slightly. If that's a thing I can do. I don't know if the game's... No, the game doesn't really seem interested in letting me do that. We can do that, though. Which I guess is better than nothing. So we'll get that in there. Gonna need some water. But we can bring the industrial zoning out just a little bit. And hopefully meet that demand. There we go. Definitely looks a bit weird. This is possibly the most uneven terrain I've ever built on in City Skylines, now that I think about it. It's interesting as well, don't get me wrong, it's legitimately very interesting. It is also just the most uneven. Now let's have a look. Do we not? Oh, now that's interesting. We don't have a graveyard. We're gonna need one of those. Let's throw a graveyard just in there. So we can start collecting the dead and bringing them to the graveyard. This area probably never gonna be expanded, to be honest. There's not really much room for expanding there anyway, so I don't think we'll bother with that space. Although it would maybe be nice to try and get like a little bypass road so you don't have to go through this residential space. Also, I'm noticing I could totally expand it. I've just realized it is actually really nicely lined up there. So this is actually really easy to expand and expand it well too. Like that's immediately just so expandable. Which I'm okay with. I'm gonna be honest. I am so okay with expanding this now that I realize it's so easy to do. But I think that whole thing is just gonna stay residential. I am not interested in getting a bunch of shop. Well, actually no, we are probably gonna want, since we have a landfill there, we're gonna want some shops in. So let's take all of that out and do shops. And that should be fine. This road here is probably gonna get a little bit busy. So I could try that bypass idea I was mentioning. Try and create a little bypass road that comes through there, perhaps. Wow, that almost lines up perfectly. That's kind of nuts. But I could try and put a little bypass road there. I think I will. I'm just curious to see if it'll even work. I want to see if people are even going to use it. So that connects there real nicely as well. So that's going to connect through, basically. And hopefully that's going to get some use. I imagine it will create traffic at that junction, but I'm also being somewhat hopeful that it'll be useful. We'll see. I guess we'll see. I'm not really going to zone on it, so I'll just bring this that the whole way through there. And yeah, we'll totally see. I mean, there's some people using it. I suppose if I turned it into a one-way road, like a highway road going that way, it would probably get a fair bit of use as well. But I imagine that is a much more direct way to get in here, as opposed to going through this space. So that's pretty cool. And this bus line's still relatively useful. I can just add a stop there and a stop there. And that should be fine. 386 passengers per week. I would really like to see that on 500, I'm gonna be honest. It'd be real nice to see 500 people using that, because I'm really not convinced that I'm gonna get that goal. I'm not convinced I'm gonna get that goal, but that's fine. Like, if I don't achieve this scenario, if I don't get the victory, that's completely fine. Because, you know, you can go and try, and if you do it, then you can totally let me know that you did it, and it'll be really cool, and you can also tell me how you did it, because, yeah, I'm not very good at these games when they pose a challenge. I don't know if you've ever realized, but I can do somewhat creative stuff, and I can do this and that, but when you present me with an actual challenge, that's when things get complicated. But I guess we'll see what happens. I guess as the population continues to rise, more and more people will start using the buses. I could look into alternate forms of transport. I could look into trams, for example, which I might do. I don't know why I would look into trams. I don't really think I need to look into trams. But I could. I absolutely could. I could throw a tram depot like here, for example. Problem is, it's more expenses, you know? It is just more money that I'm spending to do a thing. And I'm actually not that good with money at the moment. I'm only sitting on $47,000, so hopefully that'll go up a little bit. Also, I recently learned that the game, City Skylines itself, calls the currency just money. People have always been like, yo, the currency's like euro, or the currency's dollars, or the currency's this. No, the game just refers to its currency as money. For example, I think it'll even say in here, have less than 0 money. It doesn't say dollars or pounds, it's just money. And I find that really funny. I really do. Because I used to just call it money. I used to be like, oh, I've got like $1 million money. And people in the comments were like, oh, stop calling it that. That sounds really dumb. And it does. But the game officially calls it money. So, to those people that were like, please stop just saying money, I would just like to, you know, rub that in your face ever so slightly, and then get on with the video. So, there was me rubbing it in your face, and now, on with the video. So, something I think we do need to do is, possibly expand over this way a little bit. We could go that way, but I kind of want to go this way. And I also want to buy that tile up there. Oh, we just got 30,000 money. Once again, money. That's all it's referred to. Just wanna point that out. But I wanted to expand this way because we do have some nice flat land over this way. And I also noticed that we do actually have a lot of nice and flat land just here. So I'm gonna spend a little bit of time and work out a small area over here that can basically be a decent sized town. So I want to do a nice big avenue there. And on this side, I want industry. I just want a bunch of industrial zoning just coming off of that road. So I want to go like this, and I want to go to there. No, I don't. I want to go to the... Actually, yeah, I do want to go to there. And then I want to come over like this and go up to there. And I want to keep doing that, just along a little bit. And go into, there. And, I think I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it one more time. We'll go over like this. Up to there. And like this. And up to there. Then we'll just connect that straight through again. Alright. So that's basically going to be all industry. On this side, commercial, residential, the works. But we do, of course, need to get all that in here first. So let's go ahead and do a bit of a curve going like that. And then go straight along again. And then sort of do a similar thing with this space. I would like to do that and that, just so I get a nice corner to work with. Then we could go across like this. Which I think I'll do. I think I might as well. We'll go like this. Up to there. And we'll go like this to about there. In fact, we could just connect that straight through the whole way along, I think. Might as well. Just see what happens. So we'll do all of that. And what's the distance there, actually? Is that just 2 blocks? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, that is just 2 blocks. So if I go there, that should be 2 blocks. Then that's fine. So that's currently relatively symmetrical. If we do that as well, can I go like that and that? Yes, I can. Okay, this is looking weird. A little bit weird, but I think I can make it work. Let's do a road going through there. Let's do a road going through there. And let's not do a road. Actually, no, we will totally do a road in this space going like that. There we go. So that should flow through there pretty well. We could get rid of those roads as well, which leaves us a bit of space there, but it lets the traffic flow around. In fact, if we got rid of those too, I kind of like it. I kind of do like it. I also really like the idea of doing the diagonal road here, but that's going to cause problems for zoning. So, maybe we'll just have that space sort of in the middle there. Yeah, we'll just sort of, actually, no, do that. Because that'll give us a way through. I like it. I do. I like how that looks. I think that's pretty cool. My voice just had a moment there. Wow. That looks pretty cool, though. So we can get a bunch of zoning in there. And we'll see if it actually works, I suppose. We'll see if the traffic actually flows and all that stuff. We are going to need to connect this going through here. It's suggesting some tunnels, it's suggesting some stuff, and it's all some stuff I'm not too keen on. So let's go like this, and we'll bring the tunnel sort of to there. Actually, we'll keep the road relatively flat for a moment, then we'll go for a tunnel. So, just like that. Then bring the tunnel through to there. Bring it a little bit further. And then I kind of need it to connect over here, so let's come off of that bit and go down. Then we'll do a little bit of a curve, just going sort of like that. Then over to there. Not a perfect join, but it'll do the job. Then you just go under that mountain and you get over to whatever this is going to be. Which, if I do say so myself, is a kind of cool looking area. I like how it looks. I do. I think it's kind of cool. So let's see. What kind of zoning are we looking for? Well, industry in all of that. And all around that space. Not necessarily going to there. But, you know, the rest of it is industry. Then I want some commercial along there. And along there. And this little bit out here as well. And I think just the whole way around there too is going to be commercial. Then on the outsides we'll go for commercial. And I guess we'll go for it in there as well. I didn't really plan on building in that section, but there you go. Bit of commercial. We could do the same along the entire avenue, actually. Which I think might be a kind of cool idea. So there we go. Bunch of commercial. Then I'm honestly thinking the rest of it could just be... We'll do those 2 squares as commercial, but the rest of it can just be residential. So just like that. I like it. I do. I think that's actually too much commercial. which is a thing I do a lot, so we'll change that out for residential too. I like it. I do. I really like it. Let's maybe look into some services. We are going to want a firehouse out here. So we'll get ourselves one of those, which can go just over here, I think. And it's also going to need some, we're going to need some pipes out here. So let's see if we can get a decent water grid going on. That's going to serve this area nice and well. So we'll go like that. And apparently I'm just going to do it on every road, which is really inefficient, but that's apparently the layout I've gone for here. A super inefficient one. Kind of classic me, really, isn't it? You know, inefficiency and all that. Bring that into there. Go from there to there. And like that. And we'll just go along each of these roads up to there. Like so. So up to there and to there. And if we connect them at the bottom, we should have something that looks relatively decent. And it should be something that is going to be relatively efficient. And that should absolutely cover that entire area, which it does. So now all we need to do is connect this back to the rest of everything else. Just like so. So it can come over like this and to there. All right. So that should work. Basically, the only thing it's missing is an electrical connection, which it can get from across the river. So that can just go straight to there. And let's hope for the best. Let's hope this works. Let's hope this gives me a serious population boost. All of the residential areas filling up already. Obviously gonna need to move some of those buses, or move that bus line in there a little bit. So the bus line's gonna come along and is gonna immediately turn to the right and go through the industrial area. And it's going to have to go through all of this space. Alright, so I have the bus lines in the area. We have 2 bus lines that loop around here going in opposite directions. And of course we have the blue lines, which are connecting to absolutely everything else. So those blue lines, if I'm not mistaken, should, 40 and 40 vehicles. So they're kind of up there a little bit. These lines are slowly filling out with vehicles as well. And we are above 500 passengers per week, which is nuts in the best possible meaning of the term nuts. So hopefully we're going to see that challenge being met sooner as opposed to later on 32,000 people and growing pretty well. We are almost at 100. Oh, we're a big town. All right. We also just unlocked a new tile, I do believe. So let's go ahead and grab that one, since it seems like it's going to be a good one to have. Yeah, a bit of flat land up here. Well, not perfectly flat, but flat enough should I need it. I'm also realizing I could do free public transport. I'm going to see what doing that actually does. I want to see how badly that's going to hurt my income, if at all, which I imagine it probably is. No, actually, my income seems to be staying just fine. Oh, no, there it goes, dropping. But I have to imagine that free public transport is going to be a great way to get people waiting for the bus. I have to imagine that that's going to be an excellent way to encourage people to use public transport. We are also going to really want a small police station out this way. So let's throw one of those just there. And we probably want one over here as well. So we'll throw it just there. Alright, so my income seems to be alright. It's not taking a huge hit. It's taking a hit, but not a huge one. And I mean, oh, actually, there's, wow, there's less people using the bus. That's exactly what I wanted to say. That is exactly what I was expecting from that. That's weird. Really wasn't expecting it to be like, hey, it's free, we're not going to use it anymore. Maybe there's a bunch of elitists that were using public transport and were like, well, now that everyone can use it, I'm not going to anymore. Instead, I'm going to take my my bicycle to the other side of the county or the country or the mountains, I suppose. Basically, all the rich elites have bought mountain bikes and they're going this way. They've decided to go over the hill and take the direct route as the crow flies, as opposed to mixing with the common riffraff upon the bus. No, that's not for me anymore. No. Let's have a quick look at the stat. Oh, I can't actually look at the stats in any of the disasters. I guess I can't look at the disaster stats since they weren't technically disasters for me. I didn't actually lose anyone, so I guess it doesn't make that much sense to look at stats. I would once again like to look here, though. Oh, wow. We've dropped off by like 100 people per week. I guess people have maybe just got less interested in using the bus. I wonder if that's because it takes so long. I wonder if the problem is that this bus now takes way too long. I think it might be. I'm going to try something. I'm going to set up some new bus lines, and they're going to be red this time. They're going to start there. And it's going to go like, it's going to go from there to there, basically. And then it's going to go back. And it's going to be, it's my latest line, so number 6. And it's just going to be red. And then what I want to do is have a bus that, so that one comes in on that side. This one's going to come in on that side. And it's going to go to there. And then it's going to go back. And it's also going to be red. And my thinking is that these are much more direct lines to get you to the next city over. Or the next kind of area over. And I'm thinking that maybe that's the problem. Maybe the problem is that people are like, hey, I really don't want to spend forever on this bus because it goes everywhere. It doesn't go directly to where I want it to go. It goes absolutely freaking everywhere. So if I set up some bus lines like this that can kind of get you back and forth to the next place over, that might be a good move. It might not, but it is another bus line and it's going to somewhere people want to go. So my thinking is that maybe it'll work. We'll see. So let's go to there. Sure. Let's go to there and then come back. And that's going to be the next red bus line. There we go. And we'll get another one that goes, oh, where does it stop? There. So there to this little place, just there. And back again into that spot. And once again, we're going to make it nice and red. So that is bus line number 10, which is now red. And then bus line number 11, which is going to go from here, if I can get it to work, create a new line from there, going all the way out here, stopping there, and coming back. And hopefully that'll work. There is no guarantee that this is actually a good idea. But experimentation is the key to innovation, so there you go. We'll see if people end up using it. We are having some electricity problems, which is surprising, because I thought this would last a lot longer, but apparently not. So let's just throw this into there. And we still have an electrical connection through those pylons, so I think we're fine. Now let's have a look at the buses. There are a few people waiting for the red ones. There are a few people waiting there as well. And hopefully that's going to knock the number of people wanting to use the buses up a little bit. A few people waiting for the red one there as well. Oh, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about this potentially working and this potentially being the key to success with public transport and city skylines. Because if you haven't been watching Transport Fever, well, two things. Number one, why that game does for transport management what Planet Coaster did for, well, Planet Coaster. It's so good and it's so satisfying when you get a successful series of public transport. But hopefully this is gonna work. We're up to 442 people per week. We are at 38,000, but we are 108 weeks in. I don't know if I'm skeptical. I don't know if I'm hopeful. I don't know what I am. I don't know what I am when it comes to this scenario. But hopefully what I am is going to be successful. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to be today that we find out. It is possibly going to be in the next one, possibly the one after that. Either way, thank you kind of for watching. That's going to be it for today. And I will see you next time when we find out why these buildings are abandoned. Why are these buildings abandoned? There were not enough workers. That explains a lot. We have pretty high demand and also some garbage problems. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.